Going. You're with Ashraf Khalifa from Sudanpreneur. Happy Global Entrepreneurship Week 2020, the year that changed everything with the coronavirus and so much other things. But alhamdulillah, we're still surviving. We're still getting by. So today I have a special guest interview with Anas. Anas is a good friend of mine, and he is the creator of one of my favorite pages, and I think one of the most awesome pages. It's called Sudan Uprooted. So I'm actually very excited to find out like how he started, and as well as about his digital marketing strategy and where he came up with ideas. Right. Salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
How's it going, my brother? You good?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. How are you? How is Sudan?
It was a lot of fun and a lot
I think your connection is a bit,
of connections and
is it my
stuff.
connection? Yeah, yeah.
Mine's not sure. So how are you? How's things going on with you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just taking the weekend. Well, obviously currently we're in lockdown, so there's not much that you can do, apart from just chill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So nothing to chill.
I just can't wait for the second lockdown to end.
Yeah. All right. Um, so what got you into like entrepreneurship and stuff like that? And before you answer that, tell people a little bit about yourself, your background and stuff.
Is the connection good? Can you see me properly or? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Anas Himidan, based in London, UK. I studied biomedical science at the University of Hull. Finished, I think, 2014. Then I worked for the NHS for like 4 years. Worked for King's College, Guy's and St. Thomas, um, a few other hospitals. And from then I kind of moved to Public Health England, and I've been working in Public Health England for the last four years. And alongside, obviously, working in Public Health England, then we started this initiative, Sudan Uprooted. And the reason why we started Sudan Uprooted was because we felt a disconnect of culture that was present within the Sudanese community in Britain. And we felt like, especially our age range, there was nothing that we can relate to. So we thought, we need to kind of start something that we can help us to learn more about ourselves, who we are, and help build a bridge between here and Sudan, just bring that gap together. Yeah, and then obviously now we kind of like, you know, we developing it into a bit more wider. We're learning a lot more about Sudan, talk about topics and subjects that, taboo in our culture. Where you can discuss anything without feeling being judged or being different. And this is the kind of thing that we need to work on within our communities.
I like that. I like that. All right. And then so tell us like because obviously like your page is very eye-catching
Thank
and
you.
very well thought through. But in terms of the graphics and stuff like that, like tell us how you got
I
into
can't
that
really hear
concept.
you properly. Can you repeat that again? Your connection is
Yeah,
cutting. Yeah.
the connection is a bit rubbish today. I was saying, your page is very, uh, yani, very impressive and very eye-catching. And then in terms
Thank
of
you.
coming up with the different graphics, can you tell us more about how that process is and how you get to the final product?
So with a page, So we involved the whole entire team. So obviously, our organization is focused
Just Shabbat
with
problems.
came and
Could you just repeat that last part?
during the COVID times. So we had a lot planned before COVID happened, and we wanted to do, events where people would actually come, and we had a lot planned for the entire year, and then COVID hit us, so we kind of had to kind of go back to the drawing boards and be like, okay, cool. Obviously, these events that we wanted to do are not going to be possible, so what can we do? And that kind of gave us. I thought we initially thought this is going to kind of give us a setback, but in a way, it didn't actually give us a setback. It made us just kind of think outside the box and become a bit more creative. Like, what can we actually do? And we decided that we want to use this virtual interaction with our community and with people. So we decided to do this post about, different topics and learning, and that involves the entire team. So we set a period of research. So we research the information that we need and require in order for us to be understandable, it's clear and concise, so people can learn more. And then we have a graphic designer, or our what do you call it? Media for social media. Her name is Tasmin, and she is brilliant. She's the one that designed most of these pages, these different graphic designs. Honestly, at the beginning when we started, none of us had any experience of doing it, and obviously we're kind of like helping each other. But she was just self-taught, literally just watching different videos, reading about different. Yeah, somebody asked what is the what topic is
What
it?
was the topic about?
Um, I should have done to give more information.
Right.
Is
So
this
basically,
question?
this week
Yeah.
is Global Entrepreneurship Week, and Anas is well, I think you're the CEO, right? The creator of Sudan
Yeah,
Uprooted.
so I'll say founder, co-founder, slash co-founder, because when I started this, we came together and they had the same motivation, the same goals, and the same kind of passion to help Sudan, and just do something for our community and our people. And then we came together and we like decided we have to do something. What can we do? And I remember when we first started, we actually had a different name. Instead of Sudan Uprooted, the name was called Bosch, and Bosch was basically an acronym for broadening our understanding and of Sudanese heritage. And we said Boshan because Bosch is like, Bosch is a mixture of everything. It's a diverse dish that has all the diversity, and that kind of symbolizes, the beauty of Sudan and diversity within Sudan. And so we decided kind of to come with that. And then at some point we had like a setback, because when we started this, we had no idea what we were doing. Started it, we're like, what do we do? Let's just begin it, and we see. And as we went, time went past more and more. We started learning more and more, and then we came up with the name Sudan Uprooted, the mentoring scheme, for A-level students and graduate students, and we're currently working on this. Yeah.
I like this. All right. I wanted to ask you, like,
Mm.
so you kind of touched on coronavirus. So when you first started, Yani, was it just before coronavirus, or did you start after coronavirus, or and
When we
how and sort of
started,
I know you kind of talked about it, Yani, but what
yeah,
impact did it have?
the organization in 2017, um, but officially got it registered with Companies House last year in November. So most of the time we spent actually just doing the administration side of the organization, or the logistic side of it, and that kind of took a lot of time because we didn't really know, how to do it or what to do. So we kind of had to speak to many people and just try to network and find, well, how do you do this? How do you? And that took us time. Um, and then by 20, 2019, November, then we officially got it registered. And then we did one event, we called Shy and Chill, where this event had a group of people doing poetry, people sharing their own stories and their own experiences of what happened, growing up in the UK. How is it difficult for younger people? What did you find challenging growing up in the UK? And that kind of created this atmosphere and this event because they used kind of to network and meet each other for the first time. Um, Face-to-face events. However, we couldn't do that event because coronavirus came. So that gave us a bit of an impact. But instead of sitting back, we decided that we are going to, rethink what can we do during this time, and we focused most our focus now is just on virtual events because it's the easiest way to connect to people, and you can connect to a wider audience, or even not in the UK, but even back in Sudan, just like what we're doing now. um, yeah. So I say it had its cons, but it also had its pros. Pro.
And then in terms of your own life, um, how did the virus impact your work and in terms of your day-to-day structure and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, is first lockdown was, to be honest, I was kind of excited. To be honest, I was like, yes, first lockdown, gonna be locked, and don't need to, or go to work, but I had to because they considered me as an essential stay initially, work from home for 2 months, and there's so much you can do from home once you work when you're working in a lab, so um I had to go back, and so my day to day is actually normal and working. Had nothing really changed. The only thing that's changed, I would say, the personal life and social life, because that's a bit difficult. You can't really socialize as much anymore, and that had a really huge impact on mental health. And you kind of had to battle a lot of mental health during this time, and just keep active, keep being fit, and keep being positive. Because if you don't, just being locked away from every creep up on you. And I say the most
Mm.
challenging thing when you start any initiative of enterprise or organization, or especially if you work in a full-time job, or if you're, so working full-time job, and you have to kind of your personal life as well. You have to. The most difficult thing is that balance. Finding the time. You have to create that time. To this is work, 9 to 5 day job. This is your personal life, and this is your creative time for your enterprise. So that is more uh, any initiative when you start. That would be the most difficult thing to experience, and obviously you experience that, but you learn from it, and then you kind of adapt to it. And I say once you're passionate an initiative that you're doing, um, that passion itself, would what do you call it? Would drive you. So you wouldn't even feel like you're doing extra work. You just feel like you're doing something that you enjoy. It doesn't even feel like work anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And then talk to me about like how you went from like one person, or you said you started off with three people and then like to a bigger team, and
We started
what
with
sort of things
we
you were
start
working on.
so yeah, so we initially started with three, and we came brainstormed it, and one of our members had to go to China for 1 year, so we couldn't really do anything. So it was just two of us, and then we tried to do most of the stuff together ourselves. Once we kind of got some establishment, okay, we like an extra person to help us with this, and then obviously she returned and she was more helpful. Then we need somebody to kind of sort out the financial side of the organization, because we have no idea the legal side aspect of it. Kind of got another person involved. So as we go in and we're seeing what we're doing, and more demands are happening, then we're realizing that we need more people um, to in order to share the jobs equally and not to stress people too much because everybody has their own life commitments. And, when you're working on this together, you kind of have to find that work-life balance at the same time. So the more people you have, but a good, strong team, you'll be able to kind of delegate the work in a way where nobody has to kind of feel overwhelmed or overworked or overstressed. And that's the reason why we decided to increase the teams slowly.
And then in terms of yani, the recruitment side, like how did you find the right yani, what things were you looking for? And then how did you go ahead and add people to the team?
With the recruitment side, it just depends. It depends what you're looking for, what you demand, and what you need. So what is it that you need in your team? For example, we got research officers recently, and we needed good knowledge in about Sudan, good knowledge about generic information about Sudan that would help with the research once we decide that we're gonna try a specific topic and share it with everyone else so they can learn more about that particular topic that we picked. So we looked around and we saw like the credibility of people, and we spoken to them, and we seen like we had a little Zoom interview, just kind of fill them in, but what the role involved, what they would need to do, and can you do it? Do you think you'll be able to do it? Or we're looking for. So, and that's how we made our decision to kind of take in these new recruits.
And are you paying people or
I can't hear the question.
oh, sorry, can you hear me? Oh yeah, no worries.
I
I
can hear
said,
it now.
are you have
Yeah.
you got to the point where you're paying people? Well, Alyssa, are people like volunteering?
No, we haven't got to that point yet because we're still sorting out our bank account. And obviously it's just the worst time when coronavirus came. You couldn't go back to the banks and you had to do everything online and virtual, and basically they're taking forever. um, but I think once we get that out of the way, obviously have plans in the future to start paying, our workers and colleagues. So, but for the time being, we just literally who is part of our team is just there because they're actually passionate about the initiative and the idea, and and that's, to be honest, that's more important than money. If you have somebody who's passionate about the same goal, the money would follow. The money would always follow, but you need that passion. You need that people that self-driven. They're not driven by just money. They're driven by they're passionate about whatever the initiative that you're putting in. And if you have these people in your team, I think you will have a lot of success in any initiative that you have.
I totally agree 100%. And then you said that you set it up as a limited company's house. So talk to us about why
No,
you decided to set up this company.
we set it up as an NGO, so limited by share. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so obviously, as because the work we're doing
It's
is
not a
community
charity.
based.
It's not a company.
Yeah, it's not a charity, but just an NGO for now. So it has some aspect of I can't remember the legal framework off the top of my head, but we decided to set it up like this because our work involves helping the community, growing the youth.
So I think it's called a charitably incorporated organization.
Yeah, no, we haven't incorporated with any other charities. So
No, no,
we,
like
yeah,
before there used to be companies, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
there used to be charities, but
yeah.
they've created something that's sort of a mixture of the two. So I'm assuming that's the one that you chose, right?
No, we didn't choose that one. We chose just literally limited by share. So what that means
Okay.
is just an NGO. You have you're allowed certain things that you can do, but It's harder. It's like you're not a charity. It's the same thing what you said. It has the same kind of requirements, but it's just a bit different. Yeah.
And then why did you choose that? Like, just talk to us about like, I need the journey of picking that particular structure.
So honestly, we had no idea which structure we wanted. We had absolutely no idea. We were like, oh damn, okay, how are we gonna do this? So, we had this friend or accountant, Sudanese accountant. He's based in Camden Town, and so we went to him, and well, obviously we told him about what we want to do, and what do you think is the best model for us? And then he decided that model was the best thing that we for our organization. And it was such a nice guy. He did it for us absolutely with no charge, nothing at all, and he does all our accounts every year as well for free, which is really cool.
So Malaz Garetlik Incorporated means private limited.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
basically, like with the share thing, so if you guys lose money, then people can't come and sue you for your own personal stuff. I think it's
yeah, exactly.
limited by
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
guys have to share,
No,
which is a good thing.
100%. Yeah. What
Then
questions you have?
how, you only started after coronavirus, right? You only started last year.
We started just before coronavirus, but we started we focused more on the virtual side of it after coronavirus because that's kind of stopped us from doing the plans that we wanted to do before coronavirus. Yeah.
Okay. And then in terms of like where do you see like the organization and yourself in 5 years' time?
Ooh, a good question. We actually have a lot of plans for it in 5 years' time. We wanted to see it grow to the point we have a strong foundation within the United Kingdom, and then hopefully at some point take it to Sudan. And if whatever model we have here, if it's successful, we're planning to take it back to Sudan and make it work in Sudan because the aim of this organization is to help our community, a Sudanese-based community, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Sudan. So we want to start with a strong foundation with the United Kingdom first, and once we establish that, then we're gonna move it to Sudan, hopefully, even in the future. But obviously now with coronavirus, everything is very uncertain.
Okay. And then in terms of and how do you balance having a full-time job with having a startup and how do you switch off between the two?
um, that's a that's a good question. I don't feel like being the organizational work is actually work because it's something that I'm passionate about and I actually enjoy doing it. So, like usually, what happens from my routine to work? So, finish about half. I come to my house about 6. Um, um, Between 6 o'clock, just have like 2 hours to kind of unwind and then start doing work, community work for the organization. And does not even feel like it's work at all. It just feels like you're just doing something that you're really passionate about. So you kind of like adapt yourself to it. It's at the beginning it might be a bit tough and difficult, but you get to a point where you just adapt. It just becomes part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, I like that.
How would Melissa? How
Um, yeah, I
these
was gonna say
people?
Malaz has a good question for you.
Oh yeah. It's been amazing, it's been so good. Like, honestly, the community is so supportive. In general, are really kind and really giving. So the biggest challenge, let me think. I say I say at the beginning is, trying to kind of bring your vision to life, and when you have absolutely no one to mentor you, you had no direction, just initially starting the beginning of starting that initiative has been one of the most difficult challenges. Just like, especially at the time, it was just two of us. We didn't even know what to do. Like, where do we begin? How do you make this vision come to life? How do we bring it to the world? And you learn and you make mistakes as you go. And I always say these mistakes, what would keep you. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because these mistakes are what would keep you going, and these mistakes are what make you or will allow you need to do next, or what you don't have to do the next time you try this again. So I said that once you begin, just begin. Like, if you try to calculate, doing this, you'll never begin. You just need to start, and but as you go, and you'll find your answers as you go.
So, right. I think we're nearly at an hour mark. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end the live so that we can save it, and then I'm gonna go
Okay.
back live. We'll
Okay.
have
Okay.
like a 5 minute tea break. I mean, 5 minutes smoke break. Inshallah.
Okay. Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah. All right.
Unless I'll send you a message on Instagram or you send me a message. Right?
Okay. Cool.